everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead again. We're here in our cabin inside the sub-panel box on the inside of the cabin. It is so hot in here, guys. It's like 120 outside right now, so I'm trying to get this video done right quick. What we have here, we have our sub-panel box. Now we have the primary panel box on the outside of the house. And what I want to do is take just a brief moment to explain to you what we've done here and why we've done it. So we're going to pull the panel up here where you can see it just a little bit better, and not maybe me, but just the panel. Okay, what we have here is we have our two lines coming from outside. We have two lines. These are our hot wires coming in. They're going to be hooking into the top of our sub-panel box here. This will run our breakers down through here. This is an AB system down through here. One side's hot, the other side's hot. This side's hot, the other side. In other words, it swaps back and forth. So if we put a 220 amp breaker in here, it's actually feeding off of both of these legs. If we put a 110 in here, it's only feeding off one leg at a time. What we have here is we have our neutral wire. We have our neutral wire from outside marked with a white piece of tape. We have the same wire marked on the outside with a white piece of tape. We have a separate number 4 wire coming in here, which is a ground wire. Now this is a mechanical or an equipment ground, which is totally separate from the neutral ground here. Now what we've done is we've hooked our neutrals into this one here. We have not bonded the neutral to the box. You only want to do that if this is an outside main panel box on the outside out there, and I'll explain that in just a minute. If you bond it to the box in here, what you in turn have done, you have hooked your mechanical ground to your neutral. And when you have a breaker system, the neutral and the line form a current. If it's bonded to the box in here, then what will happen is if a neutral comes loose or gets broken somewhere, then the ground becomes the neutral. And that is where you can get electrocuted. In a box or something like that. You've seen people in houses touch a refrigerator door and get electrocuted a little bit, feel a little bit of electrocution, or a dishwasher or something like that. That's because they've either bonded the box or they have all the grounds hooked in with the neutrals, and there's a loose neutral somewhere. So now the difference is on the outside panel box, what you can do is you can hook and bond that box. You can bond the neutral to the ground on the outside. That's in case of a lightning strike or something like that. If lightning strikes the line and it comes in, then it will follow the closest point to ground. It will actually jump and run, hit these ground, and this ground will be hooked to an earthen ground, which will run down to a ground rod in there. And what it'll do in return, lightning strikes, it'll run this and go down in the ground, rather than going into your house and burning up all of your equipment in the house. So that's the reason you can do it outside and not inside. We left this in here. On it is wrote the loft. This black wire we know automatically goes to the loft. So when I go to put my breakers in, I'll know how to label my breakers. This one says living room receptacles. I will know which breaker goes to the living room receptacles. That way I can list all my breakers and I'll be accurate. So if I throw a breaker, I'll know exactly what part of the house I'm killing. Now, that's pretty much all that's on the inside of this. This is a 125 amp sub-panel box. We feel like that's all we're going to need in an off-grid cabin here for the use of solar or a generator. We don't really need any more than that because we have all the wiring ran, except one more wire to go into our bathroom in here. That's the only wire left to run, and this box will be completely finished, and we'll be able to work on the outside and get it where we can run some electricity in here. So we're going to step outside now. We're going to look at the primary panel box on the outside of the house. We're going to discuss it, and then that'll be it. Okay, guys, we're outside now. This is our primary panel box on the outside of the house. This is our two lines that are coming from inside to our panel box outside here. Now we're wiring this box a little bit different than we would a conventional box on a house, because this box didn't come with a main breaker in it. We had to install a 125 amp breaker here. We're going to be installing a separate receptacle over here hooked to this that can be ran by a generator. We'll be hooking one up that also can be ran by solar over here. This will be our main disconnect coming in this box. Now here is our other neutral going in. We have the white tape on the inside. This is our neutral going into the inside box. This is our other number 4 ground going in there that we talked about was our mechanical or our equipment ground inside. Now this mechanical ground is hooked to a earthen ground right here that will run down and go into a ground rod in the ground. And our neutral is hooked to the mechanical here. So in the event, like I told you, if lightning was to strike something that comes in this box, it'll immediately hit this and it'll run to the first available ground, which would be the earthen ground rod. Now this is a very simple setup, but this is a very simple cabin. We're not going to be installing a lot of unusual stuff here. We've got room out here for a few more breakers. We'll probably put our solar pump out here. Maybe a couple of outside receptacles under the box right here. And that will be it. This will be a simple box for us to use here at the cabin. So this has been a very simple wiring video here for the cabin. I wanted to show y'all where we were at with it, how we done it. I don't think it's anything very complicated. It's a very simple system, but we wanted to show it to you guys and show you how we're wiring our off-grid cabin. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.